This is Radio Nepal. I am Dela Prasai with the news, the headlines first. CPN Mavis Centre's 3-month-long Spatial Party Transformation campaign begins. Prime Minister and Mavis Centre Chairman Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda says party will reach out to people's doorsteps to collect suggestions and criticisms. Speaker Devraj Kimiri says Nepal can reap benefits from MCC and BRI by keeping countries and people's interest in centre, and India successfully launches its first mission to Sun. Now the news in detail. CPN Maoist Centre Chairman and Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda has said the government has focused on political stability, prosperity and development activities. Inaugurating the 3-month-long Spatial Transformation campaign at the party headquarters in Paris yesterday, Prime Minister Dahal said a campaign was launched to control corruption, maintain good governance and bring reforms in service delivery. Chairman Dahal also claimed that the Maoist Centre would become a reliable and revolutionary party through the transformation campaign, learning from the past mistakes. He stated that people had spatial intimacies, expectations and some dissatisfaction with the party, adding that the government led by the Maoist Centre had instilled hope of changes in the people. Chairman Dahal said in course of the campaign the party would reach out to the people at their doorsteps and receives suggestions and criticisms from them for party reform. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dahal addressed a program at Khatidana of Chandragiri Municipality 2 in Kathmandu yesterday as part of the Maoist Centre's 3-month-long spatial campaign for party's transformation. On the occasion, Prime Minister Dahal stated that reforms have been initiated in service delivery to ensure that people won't have to face hardships. House Speaker Devraj Kimiri has said Nepal can reap benefit from MCC and BRI by keeping the interest of country and people in centre. During a program organised by the Foundation of Trans-Himalayan Research and Studies in Kathmandu yesterday, Speaker Kimiri said Nepal can be benefited from these mega projects by keeping in balance the influence of superpowers. The House Speaker also stressed that the government should prioritise nationality while implementing the programs for economic development under the projects like BRI launched by China and MCC by the US. Finance Minister Dr. Prakasharan Mahat says the government is committed to addressing the problems facing national economy. Inaugurating the 25th Annual General Meeting of the Society of Economic Journalists session in Kathmandu yesterday, Minister Dr. Mahat said efforts were being made to revive the economy. He stated that tourism sector was being revived and there was adequate foreign currency reserve. He, however, admitted that revenue collection had not met target. The Finance Minister also sought cooperation from banking and private sectors and media to boost national economy. Dengue infection is on the rise in Nepal. According to the data unveiled by the Epidemiology and Disease Control Division, a total of 21,206 people have so far tested positive for dengue infection. It may be noted that the division had projected the dengue cases to rise from mid-August to mid-October. So far, 13 infected have lost their lives to the dengue infection. Division Director Dr. Rudra Prasad Marasini said dengue infection is increasing daily due to continuous rainfall. Ambassador of Nepal to Nepal's permanent mission to the United Nations, Lok Bahadur Thapa, presented his letter of credence before Secretary General of United Nations Antonio Guterres on Friday. According to the Nepal's permanent mission to UN, Ambassador Thapa presented the letter of credence and paid courtesy call on UN Secretary General Guterres at a special program organized at the UN headquarters in New York. On the occasion, Secretary General Guterres congratulated and welcomed Ambassador Thapa as the permanent representatives of Nepal to the UN and assured providing necessary cooperation to further strengthen Nepal-UN relations. Lauding Nepal's Nepal's role in UN. Since years, the UN Secretary-General extended gratitude for Nepal's support and solidarity to achieve UN's goals. The government has begun incorporating workers in the informal sectors and those self-employed to the Social Security scheme since August 17. The Social Security Fund had already brought those in the formal sector and in foreign employment under the scheme. The trade unions actively working in the country were lobbying for long to introduce the scheme for the informal sector's workers engaged in agriculture, transportation, construction and domestic works, among others. According to the fund, so far 749,945 workers, including informal sector and those in foreign employments, have been associated with the scheme. You're listening to Radio Nepal 8 AM English News Bulletin. We continue with the international updates now. India has launched its first observation mission to the sun just days after the country made history by becoming the first to land near the moon's south pole. According to the BBC, Aditya L1 lifted off from launch pad at Sriharikota on Saturday at 11:50 India time. It will travel 1.5 million kilometers from the Earth, 1% of the Earth-Sun distance. India's space agency says it will take 4 months to travel that far. India's first space-based mission to study the solar system's biggest object is named after Surya, the Hindu god of sun, who is also known as Aditya. Thousands of people have rallied in the Niger's capital, Niamey, demanding that France withdraw its ambassador and troops as its new military rulers have accused the France of interference. According to Al Jazeera, Niger's military government, which seized power on July 26, has accused French President Emmanuel Macron of using divisive rhetoric in his comments about the coup. Macron has backed deposed President Mohamed Bazoum and refused to recognize Niger's new rulers. Sylvain Ith, a French ambassador, has remained in Niger despite a 48-hour deadline to leave the country given more than a week ago, a decision Macron said he applauds. According to Al Jazeera, demonstrators expressing frustration about there still being French presence in the country were beginning to take matters into their own hands. Now, the general weather forecast for the country for today. Forecasting division says the weather is likely to be partly to generally cloudy throughout the country. Light to moderate rain is likely to occur at a few places of Koshi Province, Madhya Province, Bagmati Province and Lumbini Province, and at 1 or 2 places of the rest of the country. There are also chances of heavy rain with thunder and lightning at 1 or 2 places of Madhya Province, Bagmati Province, Gandaki Province and Lumbini Province. Kathmandu's weather report now: maximum temperature of 31.8 degrees Celsius and minimum temperature of 20.4 degrees Celsius. With this news, we have come to the end of this bulletin, but before we wrap up the headlines once again. CPN Mavis Center's 3-month-long Special Party Transformation campaign begins. Prime Minister and Mavis Center Chairman Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda says his party will reach out to people's doorsteps to collect suggestions and criticisms. House Speaker Devraj Kumire says Nepal can reap benefits from MCC and BRI by keeping countries and people's interest in center, and India successfully launches its first mission to the sun. Well, that's all that we have for this edition. Our next English news edition is at 2 in the afternoon. You can also listen to us online at our website, www.radionepal.gov.np for more news and online programs. Stay tuned, stay safe and have a good day.